Hello, everybody. Sorry, the lighting's not actually that good, is it? But this is the first time I've ever done a live stream, so this is a bit of a test run, really. Is that six people watching? Is it? If you're watching, please put something in the comments so I know that you're here. Hi. How's it going? Well, we'll give it like a couple of minutes before I sort of get into things, just in case anybody else joins as well. Oh, we got Johnny here. Oh, and James is here as well. We got JM. That's good. What's the over under? What do you reckon? What, like 25, 30 people, over under 30 people going to join it? I don't know. Johnny said he ditched the JM video to come and watch this instead. Well, you can always go and watch that afterwards instead. Johnny, by the way, in the chat, he was actually the first person on the DadCars channel to bring their car down to me to film, because he's got the Maserati Quattroporte, which I reviewed with all 4 of my children in the car. So I think that was also the first review I did with all 4 children in the car. And yeah, I mean, wow, it was actually Ian's 3200 that was the first Maserati that I had on. But yeah, that was my first experience of the 4.2 litre Ferrari Maserati engine, the V8, which is in my new DadCar. Which, yeah, what do you guys think of the new DadCar choice? I'll be really interested. You can be completely honest as well. If you're not a particularly big fan or whatever, let us know. But yeah, that Quattroporte. And to be honest with you all, my first choice, the plan was originally sell the DB9 outright cash to somebody, and then I was going to try and buy JM's old Maserati Quattroporte GTS, because as far as I know, I think it's still up for sale. So I was going to make sort of like a slightly cheeky, but maybe he would take it offer on that. But yeah, obviously things went a bit different, right? Let's see what people are saying. Yeah, people loving the Quattroporte. It's just amazing, honestly. It's such a special car, that. And yeah, when I drove the 4.2, Johnny's one, yeah, it just sort of made me realize just how, that there was like a sweet time when we had these incredible big naturally aspirated engines that, there's just obviously now, like, it seems crazy that, they made all these V8s, V10s, V12s and stuff, because the way things are going now, of all the regulations and stuff. But problem is, I grew up like seeing these cars, the V8s, V10s, V12s, and the whole industry, everything, Top Gear, everything that we were watching, the games we were playing, the films we were watching growing up, the whole industry kind of sold us on these types of cars, didn't it? And then now suddenly, when I'm at an age where I could actually potentially afford to buy one, they've changed the rules, haven't they? Moved the goalposts, and I just feel like, no, sorry, you can't do that. Literally, the reason I worked so hard up to this point was a big carrot for me was always having one of these exciting cars. So I feel a massive sense of urgency for me to get to own, experience, and daily these incredible cars. Here we go. Someone saying that they're a Porsche fan. Still can't go wrong with an Italian. Well, I think you probably can go wrong with an Italian car. Over the next sort of 6 months or so, I'm going to find out, aren't I, what Italian car ownership is like. Making memories with the girls. Yeah, look, here's the thing, right? So when I bought the Aston Martin DB9, obviously the Dad B9, I I kind of bought it because I had a massive period of time between me selling my S2 Lotus Elise, which was the supercharged one, really nice. I had a massive period of time. I think it was about 3 years maybe, between selling the Lotus, and then I didn't have anything. I bought my wife's the third generation X5, and then I didn't have the DB9 for like 3 years, and it was just, I couldn't get out of my head. I thought, look, I was being a good dad by just, daily in my van and having the X5, which I don't mind driving because it's still got a bit of pace and everything. But it just kept, look, you'll know if you're a petrol head, you own these cars, you know what I'm saying, but it just keeps, coming into your head, and you keep thinking about these cars. And then the reason I bought the DB9 was we had the money for a loft conversion on our house. So we had the money sat there earmarked for that. And then I just had this crazy idea. I said to my wife, look, we've got 3 children. I know we're going for 4. It's now or never. If I don't, DB9's always been the dream car for me. I've always wanted to own a V12. And so I did, look, let's buy the DB9. I'll own it for 1 year. It'll cost me loads of money. And it'll be a nightmare because the seats will be terrible, and I'll get stressed out about having the children in the car and everything like that. But it wasn't. Honestly, that year of me using it with my children, I loved it all. I loved the impracticality of it. I loved the ridiculousness of it, and it basically felt like I was living the dream like I dreamt of as a child. When I was a child, I used to think, I'm going to have this car when I grow up. When I've got the money, this is what I'm going to have. And obviously, as you do grow up, you tend to sort of realize that might not be like the most practical thing to do. But it was just so amazing. And then I couldn't sell it without making that video, just because I thought, look, if it's just one other dad out there gets it, then it inspires them to buy one and experience what I have. Then it would be worth it. And yeah, that's basically how it started. And then I just kept having people offering me cars. And then I've just gone on this crazy, unbelievable sort of journey with all of the cars that I've driven. It's just absolutely insane. But I love making these memories with my children and sort of hearing them building their knowledge and love of cars. And I think some of them are starting to get it, which is quite exciting. What else have we got here? I'm loving seeing you keep the daily usable practical 2+2 theme going. Yeah, Quattroporte a little bit more of an obvious dad car. Yeah, well, look, to be fair, if things were different and I could have bought that Quattroporte GTS, my plan was to fit a 4-across multi-max seat in the back of that Quattroporte GTS. So even though it's an obvious choice, it's got 4 doors, it's big, all the rest of it, I think if I'd got it so that it could have 4 children in the back and with my wife on the side, and then even at weekends and stuff, we could go out and drive around in the Quattroporte GTS, even though it's not quite as unpredictable as a coupe. I did want to do that for the sub 20 grand, trading down series sort of step, and that is still the plan. So my Grand Sport now fits into the sub 20 grand category. I'm going to keep the Grand Sport for a maximum of 6 months, and then I'll be selling that and then buying something which is sub 15 grand, and then keeping that for a maximum of 6 months, selling it, buying something which is sub 10 grand, sub 5 grand. And keep freeing up the cash to free up my time and buy the equipment and do the things that I need to just continually pump out content on the DadCars channel, because we've got some really good momentum. I mean, today we just smashed through 12,000 subscribers, which is pretty insane. So yeah, that is still definitely the plan. My son still remembers the noise of our old Subaru Impreza WRX, and yeah, God, I can't believe I haven't done a Scooby yet on the channel, because like a Subaru Impreza, that is such a quintessential dad car, isn't it? Because I'd assume that the rear seats are very much usable. So yeah, I've got to get one of those on the channel. if anyone's got one and lives near Hampshire and fancies seeing it on the channel, I'd love to get a Scooby on. Yeah, your wife is a legend for recognizing your passion for cars. Honestly, my wife is a legend, full stop. Like, with whatever I've sort of done, I've had these crazy ideas to do things. Like, I've done other crazy stuff in the past as well. And yeah, honestly, marrying the right person is such a key thing in life, I think. Because yeah, if you're doing something that you're passionate about, you know, whatever it is, your career, whatever, and you've got somebody who supports you in that, then you can be a better husband, a better person, a better dad, and all the rest of it, can't you? So yeah, it's pretty crazy that, because this has taken over our lives and has really had a massive impact on our personal savings as well. But selling the DB9 to James and freeing up a nice chunk of cash, that has really helped us. So JM saying get a Jag. Yeah, well, when I did the what's next for DadCars, I just did a little video, just sat in the van with my 3-year-old, and I said that, like, the 5-ish cars. The Jag was kind of, for me, was a wild card. You know, I'm just getting like a semi-modern luxury Jag. That was a bit of a wild card, but that was one of the most popular votes. I think most people actually voted for E39 M5 and a Jag. So I've not had a Jag on the channel. That's mad, isn't it? I've not had a Jag on the DadCars channel yet. So I need to sort that out, don't I, really? We need to at least get one on for a review. Congrats on the continued growth. Yeah, no, it is. I think it's pretty mad for, like, somebody who's, you know, a complete no-name. You know, I'm literally just a massive fan of YouTube, you know, watching JM, watching Number 27, Ratarossa, Harry's Garage, you know, but just watching them all the time. You know, I don't even have an aerial plugged in at home. Like, that's what I watch. And then just normal person, I'm not a car, like, didn't have a car journalist background or anything like that, but to start this channel, and then in only a year, I mean, with less than a year, we hit 10,000 subs. So it's pretty crazy. And the views recently have been really good as well. So hopefully that continues, because yeah, ultimately we need this to continue growing, because my dream for it all really is that I want to, just all these ridiculous ideas that you kind of have if you're a petrol head, you know, because I want to change my wife's car soon, because she's got a 3rd generation X5, a 30D, which is got ample space. We've got this 4-cross seat in the back, so the boot's massive, good performance. It's a great family car, but it's actually, as a father of 4, it's actually more. You know, it's bigger and it's more than what we need. And then when we're dropping the children to the clubs, obviously all the other parents are going to these clubs as well, and we're doing loads of clubs now as they get older. It's a logistical nightmare. But if you're trying to park in bays that were painted like, you know, 20, 30 years ago or something, and everybody else has got an SUV, and it's just ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. So I reckon this year I will sell my wife's X5 and then try to buy something else. I'm thinking an estate. I'm just thinking of getting a nice estate, something like, I don't know, like an Audi A6, like 3-litre diesel. You know, I think that would be ample. We could get a 3-across seat and something like that, and the boot will be big enough, and then you'll be able to park it better, and running costs will be better as well. So yeah, I'm seriously thinking about selling the X5 and buying something. Any other, please let us know in the comments, is there any other sort of like cool estates? If the channel got big enough and I was making enough money, I honestly would go and buy a ridiculous estate. I'd consider going and buying like a V12 7 Series or something, and then saying to my wife, "Yep, look, cool, we'll get the seat in the back, and then you can drive that." But I just can't do that at the moment, because the channel is not big enough, and the views and stuff like that, where it's not generating enough money. But that'd be the dream. If this continues to grow, I'll buy my wife a bigger ridiculous car, which I can make loads of content on. And then I will always try to go for the most ridiculous thing as well. And yeah, if I can do that, that'd be such a dream. And then obviously continue to make real world living with daily content on these exciting cars with children, getting child seats in the back, all the rest of it. And I will always be completely honest with you as well if things aren't that good. What have we got? What else have we got here? What's your day job? Okay, this is a good question. So what's your day job? So I literally took like a sabbatical from my day job to start the YouTube channel, and then I've just been working on it full time, which might be surprising to you because I've only typically been doing one video a week, but it's just completely consumed me. So I've basically I had enough like personal savings, money from the loft and stuff, where I could give myself like a year of a very, very bare bones basic sort of pot of money where I could sort of just pay for things out of. And yeah, I've just sort of gone for it. Now I know JM has told me on multiple occasions that I need to be doing more than one video a week, and I will be doing that soon. I'll be trying to put out 2 a week. But yeah, so for the last year, that's what I've been doing. But before this, I did stuff with like properties, like house refurbishments and stuff. And you might notice actually at the moment, if you see over there, like I need to apologize to my wife, because one of the things that she sort of said to me is, yeah, look, cool, you can do this, but can you just do our kitchen? And I ripped our kitchen out at the start of the year, sort of half did it, and then just got distracted by all of these different cars that were getting offered to me to film. And then it's only this week that I've actually even put the wall units up, which is terrible. But that is part of, there's still a section of the worktop that I need to put in. It's dreadful, isn't it? It's really, really bad. Oh, hang on, look, I need to focus more on answering these questions. Johnny saying that his daughter prefers his other half's Mini Cooper. As she says, the QP is too fast. It's Quattroporte is too fast. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, see, so because Mini Cooper S, I need to get a Mini on as well, really, because I know you can fit a 3 across seat in the back of a Mini as well. But QP being too fast, that's it, because my daughters, they are like, they're really like desensitized now to extremely fast cars, because they've been in Ferraris, they've been in like 911s, all sorts of crazy stuff, M5 competition, and they're really used to it now, which I personally think is actually a sign of like really good dad that I've given them all of these experiences. But yeah, I don't drive them that fast though when I'm with them. I mean, in a straight line on the roads that I know, that I will test out a rolling 0 to 60. But yeah, someone's asking to hit the like button. Yeah, I do think all of that stuff helps if you engage in things. I think even if you press just like the share button, I think even if you don't actually share with somebody, I think someone told me that helps as well. Someone saying cream leather with kids, what could go wrong? Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, in my experience, it's not so much about the color of a leather interior. It's more about the material. So if you've got like a half Alcantara interior, that's dreadful. That's really bad, because won't take long for a half Alcantara interior to start getting crusty stains on it and things. If it's leather, perforated leather is not good either. I had that problem a little bit with the Dad B9, because if stuff gets in the perforated leather, and then you've got to just get like a little pin or something to try and like pick it out, it's really quite bad. But yeah, if you've got like solid leather, I think any color, if you've got some good products, then I think it should be all right. And also, like, you can get covers and stuff for the seats, and that's something that I've just bought now. I can't believe I haven't done this before, but I have now bought a load of different child seat protectors. So they kind of like hook over the headrest at the back, and they've got slots for where Isofix can go in. I can't believe it. All of the cars that I've driven up to now, Ferraris, Astons and Maseratis, everything, but I've been putting these child seats in people's cars, but without anything. It's occasionally I'll put like a drying towel down or something like that if it was, it seemed like particularly supple. But I've been trying out different child seat protectors that you can put down first. And I think if you just put things like that down, you should be able to save yourself. Right. What's another one? What's my favorite fast estate? Well, fast estates. Well, excuse me. Yeah, fast estates. I'll be honest with fast estates. That's kind of an area which I've only started looking into since starting the channel. It might sound crazy, but the reason why I do all of these cars, like the Astons and the Gran Turismo, and like the ones with like 2+2s, 911s, things like that, is because those are the cars that I always lusted over. And even an estate to me before starting the channel was kind of like something I'll do when I'm growing up. But I've had a couple of estates on the channel now, and I'm starting to see that this really is like you have your cake and eat it thing. So I'm thinking about getting, as I said earlier, getting an estate for my wife and selling the X5. So then I can kind of have best of both worlds. So if she's got an estate which will actually be smaller than the X5, and just because you've got a fast estate doesn't mean you have to drive it fast. So, she can leave it in like a comfort setting or something like that and just drive it around normally. But then it means that I could get to enjoy, a nice, cool, fast estate. And then I can have something which is ridiculous. So that's kind of the plan. But yeah, some of the Mercedes estates, like, they sound so amazing, don't they? That's something that I'd love to experience. I definitely need to get more fast estates on the channel. What else have we got? Someone saying about it's not even the color, it's much more the stitches. Yeah, if you've got an interior in the back of your car which has got contrast stitching, like a light colored stitching, that won't take long with children for that to get stained, and then I imagine that's quite a pain. Someone saying there, get her a Hummer. Get her a Hummer. Yeah, so look, here's the thing. Here's the dream with the channel. Is that if the channel gets to a size where it is actually sort of bringing in some money, I mean, it's bringing in a tiny amount at the moment, but it's just like petrol money, really. But if it gets to the point where it's actually bringing in, serious money, then even serious, just like enough where it's like, a normal job, I will definitely buy just really silly things for me and for my wife. That's definitely the plan. Yeah, the Jag XF S sports brake. Yeah, it's a great shout. I'd really love to try one out. Yeah, I mean, maybe getting a Jag estate for my wife. Maybe that could work. I want something for her which is semi-modern. So her X5 is a late 2013. So I think I will be restricting it to like 2014 onwards cars, just because ease of use for her, and the common sense would say that safety and things as well would be good for the primary family car. What else have we got here? How about you get your wife an Alfa sports wagon? Yeah, see, so that's the thing. I don't think Alfa have made, I think all of their estates they're older now, aren't they? Which would obviously, it could be something for me to get as my DadCar as I move down the Trading Down series. That's definitely an option. But as I say, for my wife, I want to get her something which is like 2014 onwards, I think. You could turn on super chats. I don't know how to turn on super chats. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how I can do that. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. Speaking of like super thanks though, there's been a few people that have sent me super thanks before, which is just incredible. When I see that, it's crazy. Frank, I know, has done it a number of times, which is really lovely. And then I think more recently, a chap called Malcolm did one as well. But yeah, when somebody sends me like a super thanks, that's great. But yeah, no, super chats. I need to sort that out, don't I? I don't know if I can do that whilst it's going. Bare plaster looks ace. Is that bare plaster? No, it's not. It's not bare plaster. This has been painted, but it was the ceiling was plastered earlier this year. Oh God, hang on. This is jumping around now. I'm really sorry if I missed your question, by the way. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I don't really know how to do it. What's the next one? How much are you going to enjoy the Maserati? Well, I don't know. I've been driving it around for the last week, and I'm really enjoying having the space in the Grand Sport because it's so big in the Grand Sport compared to the DB9. It's the opposite. That's the funny thing. You sit the Grand Sport and the DB9 next to each other, and the DB9 is notably bigger all round, and then the Grand Sport, looks a lot more compact. But then you get in the inside, and it's complete, other way around. Loads of space in the back, and even in the front, loads of space as well. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm also enjoying that the Grand Sport is a little bit more. How should I say this? So when I did the five embarrassing things on the Aston Martin, after I released it, I realised I actually missed probably like the biggest, most embarrassing thing I found about owning the Dad B9 actually, and that was that it was a fly, and that was that Aston Martin DB9. Like, for people who don't really know about cars that much, you look at it and it still looks like a very expensive car. And so if you see somebody with an Aston Martin on their drive, and even if you're not really into cars, you might look at that and think, oh, this guy's got some money. So I can remember a few times when I had sort of like subcontractors come around to come and do some work on the house or come and quote for something on the house. And I had it once where like somebody came and they answered the door and then they went, well, yeah, you've obviously got some money, haven't you, mate? Like when they saw the Aston, and I just felt like I had to say to them, no, look, I mean, you can get them for like not that much money now. It's less than the price of like a Tesla Model S. But so that was, for me, a really embarrassing thing about having a DB9 is that people who perhaps didn't know would assume that I had loads of money, but I didn't. I don't have loads of money. So the Grand Sport's really nice because I think it, although it's in a more sort of eye-catching colour, I don't think it really catches your eye and you look at the Grand Sport and think, oh, that guy's got loads of money. I think that you look at it and think, oh, that guy's obviously into his old like modern classics and stuff. So that's something I'm already enjoying about owning a Grand Sport, is it just feels like it kind of floats under the radar a little bit more. Civic on the cards. Yeah. No, there's somebody, a subscriber who's got a cool Civic actually. I need to get more hot hatches on. I really do. Yeah, it's funny, like hot hatches, estates, they're not the cars that I've sort of dreamt of over the last like 15 years. So that's why primarily like all the cars I've been doing have been the cars that I've been dreaming of over the last 15 years. But estates and hot hatches, they do make amazing dad cars. So I need to get through and do all of those. Because I mean, look, here's the thing with the channel. What I want to do is I want to create this back catalogue of all of the different exciting car options, so that dads, around the world, they can watch these videos and actually see child seats going in the back, actually see what it would be like potentially to drive this car with children. So yeah, Civics and loads of hot hatches I need to get on, don't I? Did you consider getting a manual Maserati 3200 GT? Yes, I did. So in the Trading Down series, my plan in my head, the way I sort of saw it, was try to go for a sell the Aston outright cash, come back from getting the maintenance work done on it. Get the maintenance work done on it, and then sell it for the best price, with the cosmetics being good, and obviously all of the money that I spent on the operation and maintenance of it. And then I was planning on buying a Quattroporte GTS if I could get one for the money, or E39 M5, or just something which was as close to 20,000 as possible. That was, a good buy as well. And then as I moved down, I was thinking to myself, because I love these Maseratis. Ever since Ian let me drive his first 200, that was the first car that I'd ever driven on the DadCars channel, which was a car that I didn't own myself. So I was just blown away that somebody reached out to me and said, yeah, come and drive my car. So driving that around, I was like, oh my God, I'm living the dream. This is it. I'm actually making a car review on a car, which is somebody who's seen my channel. So yeah, that's when I really fell in love with these Maserati coupe sort of design cars. And obviously for a first 200, I could probably get a first 200 for like 10 grand. So I was thinking, as I moved down the trading down series, sub 20, sub 15, sub 10, maybe then get a first 200 manual, because that bi-turbocharged that Maserati bi-turbocharged engine is really cool. It's got a completely different character altogether, and I love the story about how that was actually pumping out a lot more power than the equivalent Ferraris at the time, and it's kind of making them look bad. What else have we got? How do they react to selling the Aston and to the new car? So assume you're talking about how do my children react. Well, my 4-year-old, when she saw me editing one of my videos where I was talking about selling the Aston, when she saw that for the first time, she started crying. And then I turned her, I said, "You're okay, sweetie, what's the matter?" And then she said, "I don't want you to sell the Aston." And to me, that was like, oh my goodness, is this like my first sign that one of my daughters is going to be a petrol head? And so that was actually a really sweet moment for me. So yeah, she in particular, my 4-year-old, she was quite upset to see the Aston go, as was I. But I don't. There's no other way. There was no other way to do it. I had to sell the Aston in order to free up the cash to just continue funding myself, to free up the time to work on this channel. So, and the Maserati, they're excited about that. They talk about the fact that we've got the Maserati now, because obviously they've been in so many. They've been in so many Maseratis. We've done the first 200. We did the Ghibli. We did the Quattroporte. We did the Gran Turismo. We've done the Gran Cabrio. And done the Grand Sport. We've done so many Maseratis, and they love the badge, obviously, with the trident on, or what they call it is, they say it looks more like a crown. All right, what else have we got? Yeah, you can clean leather easily. Yeah, you can. As a spotty teenager, what was your dream car? Okay, so yeah, for me, as a teenager, it was a Lamborghini Diablo. And then sort of later, when I was about 19, it became the Lamborghini Murcielago. So yeah, that's probably a big reason why I then sort of started obsessing about the DB9 as well. It was just because, I don't know, the DB9 actually felt like a car that you could use as a car. And I remember thinking that quite early. Whereas the Lamborghinis, they are just simply an events car. They are an A to A car, a Lamborghini, a V12 Lamborghini in particular. You start off at your house, you drive somewhere, and then you don't stop and get out your car until you get back at your house, like typically. So yeah, as a young man, my real dream was a Lamborghini, and I did promise myself, that I would own a Lamborghini one day. So I don't know about that, but yeah. But that's where, for me, I just had to own a V12, and that's why I recommend to anybody who is passionate about these types of cars, the types of cars that I'm passionate about. If you get the opportunity to own a V12, you absolutely got to go for it. Whether it's a DB9, a Rapide, or whatever. The Rapides are such bargains at the moment, and really properly usable with with your family, with your children. And Aston Martin made the Rapide for dads. because the rear seats aren't particularly great for adults. Like they're very, very compromised, but the Rapide rear seats you can use with children of all ages up until they leave home. Like they can fit back there fine. So yeah, the Rapide for me. Hopefully I'm going to be filming a early Rapide soon as well, and making a real point about just how much of a bargain they are, because they put 150 grand new, you know, and you can pick one up now for like low 30s. It's just incredible. What have we got? Oh, someone saying about Rapide. Would you choose a Rapide over the DB9 as a dad car now if you could choose another Aston? So yeah, so for me, the Rapide is actually not much good for me, because I've got 4 children, and I've got this child seat, the Multimac, which they do 3 across child seats all in one unit, or 4 across all in one child seat unit. I want the ability to take all 4 of my children out in the car, and that is something that I actually need to do sort of occasionally as well. And sure, I can, you know, send my wife out in her car, and then I could in my car, and then I could use her car and stuff. But I don't know, I just want the ability to carry all 4 in my car. And the Rapide has got the biggest of transmission tunnels. You know, it's literally like when you get in the back, you kind of like, you sit here and it's like a lovely armrest. It's all beautiful in the back, but yeah, there's no way that I could get a 3 across seat in the back of a Rapide. But if anybody asks me now, look, I've got a couple of children, you know, whatever ages, and I want to have an Aston Martin as a daily, what would you recommend? I would say, unless you're as committed as me, where, you know, the impracticality is something that you kind of enjoy, the Rapide is the much more sensible option, and you still got that same glorious 6-litre V12. And although they don't picture very well, when you actually see one in person, they're lovely, because there's a few sort of subtle sort of upgrades over the DB9. Like the lights are a bit more modern, and they've got like LED sections to them, and just the interior, and they're just the biggest bargain. You can actually get a more modern Rapide, like a newer Rapide with more bells and whistles, than an equivalent DB9 for the same price today, and they were significantly more expensive when they were new. So the Rapide, 150 grand, I think the DB9 was like 100. So yeah, the Rapide is the big bargain, and that's what I would recommend, to be honest, as an actual really usable daily V12 Aston Martin. What else? Oh God, it's just jumped down again. I'm gonna have to start rattling through these a bit quicker. Sorry, I can just waffle on, can't I? You can. Oh, hang on, James. You can turn super chats on for live bits too. Your Wally. You need to do it for next time. Okay, yeah. So I need to put supers on for next time. I don't know why I didn't do it. Yeah, I don't know how I can do that. I'm not going to be able to do it whilst maintaining a steady flow of talking either. Anyway, yeah, look, I'll just do it for next time. What have we got? Oh God, I've missed out so many. Somebody saying here, it was nice meeting you at Shedfest. Yeah, Shedfest was amazing. It was so amazing. Like the vibe from people was so lovely. And what really blew me away was how many people went to Shedfest and brought their family, brought their young children. Like it was absolutely amazing. And I just respect that so much, you know, because, you know, look, car shows aren't the most entertaining, enjoyable place for children, are they? So this is why I was talking to Alex, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this now, but I'm hoping to, at the next Shedfest, to have a DadCars section at the next Shedfest, and fingers crossed as well, I'm hopefully going to be doing it at Petrol Hedonism next year as well. So there'll be a big marquee, DadCars marquee, where there'll be loads of free, absolutely free activities for children. So colouring in cars, you know. So if it's at Shedfest, I'll print off a load of line drawings of like Auto Alex's, you know, most popular cars, and then just have loads of crayons and felt tips and things like that, and then have a few other sort of games and activities, maybe like a little egg hunt as well, where children got to go around and find eggs that are like pinned on the windscreen of cars. And just because when we did the first DadCars event, it was incredible seeing young children actually really enjoy going to a car event. And I always remember there was like a 4 or 5 year old daughter of somebody there, and she was arguing with her dad because she didn't want to leave a car event. And I've just never seen that before. But it was, obviously because there was loads of fun activities. And that's my thing with car events going forward, where possible. I want to have DadCar section, free activities for children, with the sole aim of making it so that children get excited. And then they're saying to their parents, like, can we go to another one of those car events? Can we go to another one? Because we need the next generation to be enthusiastic and have, positive memories and association with internal combustion engine cars, don't we? Because, by the time they come to drive, like my daughters and things, like they could easily, if it wasn't for somebody like me making them passionate about these internal combustion engine cars, they could easily just go, as soon as they start driving, just be driving around in EVs and not understand what the big fascination is with these cars. So yeah, Shedfest was awesome. Someone E63 modified 650 brake horsepower over 1,000 Newton meters of torque. Got bored of it after 6 months. Yeah, God, yeah. I'd love to have a crazy like estate, Merc, something like that. Do you think it'd be hard for you to sell down and have cars that are cheaper and cheaper? Do you think it won't bother you? Well, yeah, look, because that's something else. Somebody commented today saying, oh, does it feel like a big step down going from the Aston to the Grand Sport? Look, the thing for me is that it's the only way. It's the only way that I'm going to be able to try and get this channel so that it's traveling under its own steam. Because at the moment, it needs me to supplement my own sort of personal savings to keep freeing up my time to do it. So I know I don't think it will, and I do. There's obviously the hope that, look, if I get all the way down and then I get to like sub $5,000 and the channel's still not quite bringing in enough money, and then I go down to like £1,000 hatchback or something, and then the channel's just not there, then that would be devastating. But I don't know. I just feel like that's not going to happen. I mean, already I can't believe we're over 12,000 subscribers and we're getting as many views as we are. So yeah, and the other lovely thing as well is I've got incredible channel subscribers who let me drive their insane, incredible cars as well. So yeah, it kind of feels like I'm on a mission with it, and I do get excited as well, though, as you move down, that when you find a car which is cheaper, but it's still really just feels special and fun, and there's also something nice about driving around in a car which is cheaper, because it's not quite as stressful. Like if you park a car which is right at the limit, you buy cars right at the limit of what you can afford, and you can just about afford to pay to maintain it and everything like that, and then you go and drive it and you've got to park it somewhere because you're taking the kids somewhere and there's not any good parking spaces. Sometimes it can be a little bit stressful. So if you've got something which is still fun and exciting, but it's at a lower budget, maybe it takes a little bit of that away. That's why the Ferrari FF for me, which is obviously the dream, feels just so far away, because I mean, for me to be able to own one of those comfortably, I mean, I'm nowhere near having the money to buy one, nowhere near. But if and when I do ever get one, I'd want to own it comfortably. I wouldn't want to, if it was really sort of making me uncomfortable, I don't think I would do it. Why not buy an Audi A6? Well, an Audi A6 is, funny you say that, it's actually top of the list, I think, at the moment, to replace the X5 for my wife, because for about 15 grand, you can get yourself a nice Audi A6 3-litre diesel. Trade down, I mean, not sell down. A mum at our primary school rolls up in an RS6 V10 estate. Sounds awesome. But see, look, It's a crazy thing, you know, like I love the idea of that. Buy like an RS6 and then my wife driving an RS6 and then me getting to drive an RS6 and make content, you know, and bring you videos, which is like my wife's been daily in a RS6 V10 for 3 months and here's what she thinks. You know, I think it would be great. I think that would be awesome. S4 Avant. See, the only I need to check out an A4, S4, whatever, because I don't know if it's got the width in the back. I need 1320 millimeters for the seat that I've got, and I don't know. I know it will fit in the back of an A6. I don't know if it will fit in the back of an A4. Did the Aston have the issue where other drivers don't let you pull out or merge? We've never had a single issue in the Alpha. No, honestly, I'd say the Aston, people always let me out in the Aston. It's when I've driven 911s, people don't let me out in 911s. I can remember when I drove the 997 CSR, very cool car. If you've not seen that video, it was done quite early, but that was such a cool car. I remember being stuck at a junction in that 997 and I was just thinking, why is no one letting me out? Why is no one? And then I realized it's because I was in a 911. People will still think you're loaded in a Maserati, but maybe not quite as much as the Aston. Yeah, see, I think, but I think with the Grand Sport generation Maseratis, I think that they do look like a modern classic car. You know, like the Gran Turismo, from certain angles, you look at Gran Turismo and you just wouldn't know. It could have come out yesterday. But I think these do look like modern classics. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Well, I'll let you know. I'll see what people think. I know the badge. If people see the badge and they know what a Maserati is, then you know they might make assumptions there. Swapping out my Maserati GT for a Mustang. I'm amazed at the amount of commenting on the Mustang more than the Maserati. Strange. Yeah, what so you had a Gran Turismo and you swapped it for the Mustang. Yeah, I think I remember you commenting on some videos. Yeah, see, I love I'd love to have a muscle car. I'm a massive fan of muscle cars. I would love to have one, but all of the muscle cars that I would want are above 20 grand, so they just weren't a consideration for my next car, unfortunately. But yeah, that's interesting. I'd have thought that more people would have, because a Gran Turismo is a much rarer sight than a Mustang, but I do love the 6th generation Mustang. The sound of a Maserati is addictive. Yeah, it is incredible. And the Gran Turismo, the 4.7S, it's one of the best standard sounding cars ever made, I think. Don't think they sold the Grand Sports in Canada. Yeah, I don't know. What are your... Oh, here we go. Here's Frank. Frank's here. Hi, Frank. I was saying earlier on, I don't know if you heard, but Frank's been a fan of the channel for ages, and he has done. He sent me like super thanks, which was really, really sweet. We always appreciate that. Thank you so much, Frank. Do you honestly think the channel is worth losing nice cars for, mate? Yeah, honestly, I do. Yeah, honestly, I feel like a very lucky boy to have driven that Aston daily for 2 years. Very, very lucky boy indeed. My original plan was to only have it for a year, sell it, and it'd be horrible, but it wasn't. I loved it. And basically, the bigger thing for me now is going on this quest of making a back catalogue of videos on YouTube for dads around the world to see cars at all budgets. So it is my belief that I'll go down the Trading Down series, but then by the time I get to like sub 5 grand, I feel like the channel will be, you know, starting to just earn enough to pay for itself, and then, you know, hopefully then it can start climbing up again, and I can start moving back up the ladder and get myself like some of these other cars that I really want to get. You know, a Lotus Evora. I really want a Lotus Evora. And see if I can, how many children I can fit in a Lotus Evora. Right, let's rattle through these quicker because we've been 48 minutes and I think I'm probably going to cut this off at about an hour. Sorry if I missed your question, guys. How much better would the lineup look at the next DadCars meet with our three Maseratis there? Yeah, yeah. I need to do another DadCars meetup, don't I? My little one cried for days when we sold our last car. It was nothing special, just an Octavia, but it was the only car that she had known. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? We do. Children do really associate their memories with these cars that we have. So if we're in a fortunate position where we can buy a special car and then make those memories with the children in a special car, a car that's special to you, and I think children pick up on that as well. If there's anything that mum or dad is really excited about, like children pick up on that. So if dad's just finally bought himself like his dad car and he's really excited about it, like your children will know that. They'll know that you're excited, and then they'll want to be interested in it as well. And yeah, that's a big thing for me. I want my children to have memories in all these different cars, and that's why I want to sell the X5 and get something a bit different. Love your channel, dude. I'm living DadCar life in a Bentley Continental, Maserati GT, and a Cayenne. Wow, that's a hell of a fleet, isn't it? Wow. Yeah. God, I think I might have seen. your lineup before. Maybe you're on a Facebook group or something. But yeah, Bentley Continental. I need to get a Bentley Continental on, don't I? I do really need to do one of those. And the Cayenne is a cool car as well. Hi Ben, love the content. Have you ever considered how would you calculate revenues between your kids when they're older and demand their cut, for example? Well, I used to say every time that we found out we were having another daughter, I used to joke and I used to say that, well, I'm sorry, your wedding just got a bit more rubbish, didn't it? So there was like a pot of money for my first daughter. Then when the next one was born, I say, your wedding just got 50% worse, and then right the way down now. So yeah, look, I guess yeah, everything 4's good. You can split 25%. I think that works. Oh God, it keeps jumping around. Sorry guys, I'll get this better in future. And I'm definitely missing things. We were at Shedfest with the little munchkin who drew a heart on the side of your indicator. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Shedfest. This is mad, right? So the Mercedes Vito, which is my most viewed video on a DadCars channel, I'm not actually sure how happy I am about that, but yeah, 160,000 views, I think it's got. It's crazy. I wish it wasn't that. I wish it was like the Ferrari FF or something. But so I hadn't cleaned that car in 6 years-ish since, when I filmed the video. And then we all drew on it, and loads of children, everybody drew on it. It was lovely. They really enjoyed it. See, look, an activity for children at a car event. They're drawing on the car. But I've still not cleaned the van. So it's still got all of those doodles all over it, which is mad. Yeah, I need to do that. I don't know, would people watch that? Should I film it? That's cleaning the Vito with a jet washer on the rust and blowing off like sections of paint and rust. I don't know. Maybe I'll film it, and then if it's rubbish, I just won't put it out. Lusso or FF for a daily with occasional kids in the back. I heard the FF is noisy in the back. I didn't experience that when I drove the FF. Didn't feel particularly noisy in the back. But then my children, I've taken children out to do reviews on crazy loud cars, and I think they're just used to it. The children just acclimatize to anything, honestly. If it becomes the norm, they just acclimatize. What sort of activities do you have at the DadCar stand? We have cornhole. Oh, hey, there's Joe. So Joe's watching. So Joe is the owner of the Maserati Gran Turismo S, the 4.7 MC shift that I drove on the channel, and that video has done so well over time. But Joe also, he's become a really good friend of mine, and he recently, when I had the sort of mess up with the DB9 and the cosmetic work, oh God, that's a whole story. I've glossed over that because it's all just so heartbreaking. But JM in his video, he talks about it a little bit more. But yeah, that was heartbreaking. But I was supposed to take that to petrol hedonism, And then the morning of, when I went to pick it up, and it was just, oh, honestly, I nearly cried when I went to pick that car up. It was just so heartbreaking. But anyway, fortunately, James has sort of figured out a solution. He's taken the car on, and then he's going to fix it, and I can be a part of that as well, which is great. But yeah, Joe with the Gran Turismo, I called him up and I was, oh my God, Joe, my car, you just wouldn't believe this, what it looks like. And then he said, do you want to just drive the Gran Turismo and just take it for the weekend? So he just let me borrow his Gran Turismo for the weekend for petrol hedonism. Like, it's pretty amazing. What activities? Yeah, we'll have cornhole. We'll have cornhole at future DadCars events, and yeah, we'll have just like Play-Doh maybe as well, just for like little ones, maybe like a soft play mat for like little babies as well. It'd just be really nice, won't it? Don't you think, at like these events, like, you know, Shed Fest, hopefully, petrol hedonism, hopefully, at DadCars events, anywhere else that we get invited to, like a little hub for people who do bring their families and their children, and then, you know, partners as well, who perhaps aren't as excited about going around looking at all the cars as much as you are. You know, just a nice little hub there that they can sort of sit down with their little ones and stuff and just have a chat, and it just be a nice little family environment. I think that'd be really lovely. What else have we got here? Have you been approached by kids brands for collabs to be an ambassador? Yeah, I mean, Multimac have been brilliant from really early on. Multimac they got what the channel's about, but then Multimac is owned by a massive petrol head, and his daughter's a massive petrol head who helps them run Multimac as well. And obviously, what they create is they created a product which is made for me. So they've been great. So we'll, you know, working with them and collaborating and stuff. And hopefully, I'm going to be filming a video with them soon for the Grand Sport, trying to get a seat in the back there. But other brands, I think it's just, I think the big brands, I think it's just, it just feels like a bit too much risk for them, you know, just like a little YouTube channel that they can't have control over. I've had really random things come through, you know, just like email saying, oh, you know, if you mention this product, we'll give you a free one and you can earn this, that, and the other. But I've just said no to most of them. Well, yeah, pretty much all of them, just because it just doesn't feel worth it, unless it's something that, no, I want that and I'm going to use that myself. I've just been saying no to them all. It would be lovely if some more, you know, good big child seat brands would work with me, if nothing else, just so that they can send me some more child seats to use. Because look, I've got, see over there, look, there's this whole stack of child seats, and all of them I've had to buy myself. Other Urban Kangaroo have been cool. Urban Kangaroo sent me out. They sent me out a free seat. But yeah, most of them, they just, I don't know. I think I'm just too small for it at the moment. I would love to get, well, I do have an announcement coming soon, actually. I have got my first big proper sponsor, which is really exciting. It's going to mean that I can create a lot more content on things, but I'm not ready to sort of like talk about the finer details of that yet. But yeah, we have got something very exciting happening soon for the channel, but it's not necessarily child product related. It's more car related, which is cool and exciting. Right, let's try and rattle through these quickly, and then we'll do like another 5 minutes, I think. But thank you guys. Like, look, we've had over 40 people in here, I think, most of the time, so I really appreciate that. Just my first one, I'm trying to figure it out. So Ben, although not suited for 3 kids, what did you make of the XKR? Yeah, I've never driven an XK. Never driven one. I'd love to. I'd like to get one on the channel soon. Ben, curious to see what reliability is going to be like. Yeah. We'll see. I see it all as training for one day when I do own, many years in the future. If I do own a Ferrari, I've got to get used to paying out for things and having maintenance issues and stuff. Hi Ben, best luck with DadCars. Come across your channel from JM. Lovely content. Decided between a Mark II TT or a 987 Boxster. Well, if you need the rear seats, you've got to go for the TT, haven't you? Yeah, the TT's never been a car that's I've lusted over. But I need to get one on the channel, a TT, because they've got the rear seats, and then we can see what child seats you can get in the back and stuff. And a 987 Boxster. Yeah, I think some of the 987s, I think they've got ISOFIX on the passenger seat, and you can switch the passenger side airbag off. So if they do that, I'd love to get them on as well. Nice to see the live, Ben. Yeah, well, this is all a bit strange for me, to be honest. Can we swap cars for a week? Joe Holmes. Yeah, we can swap cars. Yeah, Joe, if you want to swap cars, we can swap them for a week. You're going to sell me. You got to sell me your car anyway, Joe, for massively below market value. That's the that's the deal. I'm going to buy your car. It's going to happen one day. I've missed it. What's the new car? 760i. Oh, I'd love to get a 760i, but I think if I got a 760i, I think I would. No, I couldn't do that for my wife. Not until the channel's making decent money. But how cool would that be? Buying my wife a V12. Just seeing my children going around in a V12 day today. Right, last few questions. Literally, we'll wrap this up in 3 minutes. But thank you all. Thank you everybody who's tuned in to watch this. I really appreciate it, and thank you all who watch the videos as well. It's incredible. Right, last few questions. Have I put the kids in the back of a Citroen C6? No, I haven't. I don't think I've ever driven a Citroen with them, believe it or not. What happened? Did they botch the repairs? Yeah, look, I don't want to go into massive detail about the issues with the DB9 because it's still kind of up in the air, and there's still a chance that those involved with what happened to it, they could still sort of maybe put it right. So I don't want to kind of put it out there until I've given them all the opportunity to kind of make it all right. But James talks about it in his video where he reveals that he accidentally bought an Aston. He talks about it a little bit more. So if you haven't watched that video, it's worth just checking that out because yeah, he explains it in a really nice way. And what we'll do is we will continue to make content on the DB9 and get it so that it's cosmetically how it should be. So I'm pretty sure that we will sort of give more details on it later on. What have we got? Knowing now that you did kitchen house renovations, have you considered doing some work on the cars yourself to save money? Yeah, see, so I can turn my hand at pretty much anything on a house. I'm not the quickest at doing it. Obviously, if you've got somebody who specializes in each different trade, they'll be a lot quicker than me. But I can turn my hand at anything, taking walls down, putting steels up. Yeah, like I can plumbing was what I did. Plumbing was what I did after school. I was a plumbing apprentice and became a qualified plumber. But yeah, like rewiring a house, doing all the first fix, everything like that. I can do all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm sure that I could do work on cars, but the problem is it's time. It's, I still haven't finished our kitchen that I started in January. So before I started the channel, I would just do working on houses all the time. But now since starting the channel, I just don't have time because if I'm not prepping for a car, or I'm not filming a car, or I'm not editing a car, then I'm being a dad to 4 children. So yeah, to me, I kind of see it as like a thing that I will do when the children are older and they're starting to leave home or not wanting to spend time with their dad anymore, which makes me feel quite sad. But, when they're older, I imagine, buying like an old Lotus Esprit or I don't know, like a 90s JDM car and then just learning how to work on it. But I love watching that sort of content. That's why I've always loved watching Ratarossa's channel. Yeah, so I reckon I could. Yeah, I could turn my hand at it, but I've just got zero experience of it so far because I've always been busy just working on houses. So yeah, I've never had the spare time. Right, last few questions. Hope you can sort it out. Yeah, look, if you're talking about the DB9, it's all in hand. We're gonna take it. James is gonna take it to like one of the best places, and I'm gonna go up with him as well because I want to be there. I feel like my car is, it's poorly at the moment. Well, my old car, the DB9, I feel like it's poorly at the moment, and I need to be there to kind of like mop its brow, and I just need to you know, I still think about it now, sort of how it's looking cosmetically, and it makes me really sad. So yeah, but me and James, we're gonna sort it out and make sure that it gets to where it should be. Kids grabbing the 10mm sockets and getting into tight spaces. Yeah, they look. My children love helping me on the houses. You know, my eldest knows how to bleed radiators and, you know, things like that. And I get them to hold the drill sometimes and things. So yeah, I think it's really important to teach those practical skills to your children. So yeah, look, I don't. It just feels like such a mountain to climb. Like, surely if anyone's watching this, you know, when you're working on your cars, you know, probably like the first one you do is, it takes 10 times as long, and then you've got to kind of go through, put in all of those hundreds of hours to get to the point where you can effectively work on, you know, other cars going forward and stuff. So I just don't feel like I've got that time at the moment. I need to just be making content and on, you know, all these various different cars, checking out the rear seats, and just living with the cars and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. But look, thank you everybody. I wrote down some like people I wanted to say thank you to here just before I finished it off. Yeah, I want to say thanks again to Frank and Malcolm and someone called Metronet Man, because those are the people that have sent me like a super thanks. I've not set it up on here, but yeah, it blows me away whenever somebody does something like that. And I generally use that money to put fuel in the tank, or to, you know, buy like McDonald's or sweets or something. So I really appreciate that. Thank you to Valet Pro as well. Valet Pro, who do, you know, car cleaning products and stuff. Like, they really early on, like, I've only been doing it a couple of months, they sent me like 150 quid's worth of stuff for nothing. And they didn't say anything. They didn't say, don't have to mention us or anything. But I always remember the people that helped me really early on. So yeah, Valet Pro are really cool. And yeah, just want to say thank you to those. But Ian, again, with the first 200, I've already said thanks to Johnny, but to Steve as well. With he let me borrow the he let me drive the Taycan Turbo S when I'd only been doing this for like a month. Like, he's a DB9 owner. He just bought a Taycan Turbo S, and he's like, yeah, you can drive it for your channel if you want. So just Steve's a legend for letting me do that so early on. I can't believe that. I've got Joe down here as well. We've already said hello and thank you to Mike with his DBS, Mike of the Sporting Bears. He let me drive the Superleggera again so early on. I'd only been doing the channel like a couple of months. He let me drive a DBS Superleggera in the rain. So legend. Thank you so much, Mike. James of Driven Flawed as well, who I reviewed his Mustang Mach-E, and I reviewed his Mark IV Supra as well. He's got his own channel, which is Driven Flawed. But yeah, he's really cool. He doesn't live that far from me. He's got a nice fleet of cars, and I want to say thank you to James for letting me drive those. And I'm not going to remember everybody. All of the people who let me drive their cars, thank you. But the other person I want to say thank you to as well is Guy, who let me borrow his Aston Martin V8. He let me borrow it for a weekend. I'd never met the guy. And I'd never actually even spoken to him on the phone, other than just having a conversation over WhatsApp. But he's a friend of JM's, and JM was reviewing the Aston Martin V8. And then James said, oh, do you reckon DadCars could get access to it? Because Guy is a dad himself, his daughter's into cars and everything. He was like, yeah, you can just borrow it. So I borrowed that, which was just an insane dream for me. So yeah, thank you, Guy. And to everybody else who's let me drive their cars, people who bring their cars down to me, that helps so much, because obviously with young children and everything, it's, you know, some of the round trips that we do, you know, we do 12-hour days sometimes to drive up and go and review a car, film it all, and then drive all the way back. So yeah, and to everybody who's watched all my videos, or, you know, some of them or whatever, honestly, just thank you so much. This is a dream for me, and if we can keep this going, keep it growing, I'll just keep buying more ridiculous cars, and I just want to review every single exciting car from a dad's perspective, seeing what it would actually be like to live with, not throw around a track. You know, what would it be like if you're actually living with this car? That is what DadCars channel is about. And yeah, you know, let's keep it going. Let's see if we can keep doing it. Is there any other questions? Just people saying thanks and congrats, I think. Yeah, look, thank you all so much. I'm going to end this now, and next time I'll get us in a place where it's better lighting, and I'll set it all up properly. But yeah, look, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Oh, how do you end it?